Hello and welcome to the Yarnings Podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 86. It is Friday, not Thursday, April 22nd. It is afternoon time. There is a light out in my craft room, so everything's a little dim behind me, but hopefully the lights above me, my studio lighting, will still be good enough for you to see. I think it'll be okay. It is cloudy outside. I think it said 61, but it's been a very hot week. I do have the fan on pointing at my feet because it does get warm in here while I talk. But yeah, it got to the, I want to say high 80s earlier this week, so it was quite warm. And the AC has been on, and when I was out and about on Tuesday, I was very warm. I was not quite ready to be pulling out sunscreen this early in the year. But it is beautiful. The sunshine is very happy making. I just am not as good in the heat. I don't have as much heat tolerance as some people, I think. But it was very pretty and felt good to be in the sun for a little while. So welcome. Let's move into some life stories. The last few weeks have been busy. The last few weeks I've had several migraines, and that zapped away my extra time to be recording and talking to you guys. I'm just doing my best to make it through when those happen, and it does take away some of my capacity for doing things, but I'm doing my best. And that's all anybody can do. Beyond that, I have done a little bit of pre-birthday celebrating. I have mentioned that I am celebrating a little longer spread of months surrounding my birthday, so I can have lots of my friends from around the country celebrating with me, and that makes me awfully happy. One of the things that I was able to do here locally was I thought I'd have a get-together of my sisters and my mom. We don't get together very often, and there are other family birthdays right around mine, and so because it was my 40th, I thought this was a really great chance to just do something that was for me, and have it be around my birthday, but not at the same time as other things going on. And so I invited my sisters and mom out to dinner. I had cute little favors on the table, little post-it notes and chapsticks and googly eyes, because that's fun and celebratory, and I loved that I could bring my creativity to the table, literally, and do something silly and giggly, and I didn't need presents. I just wanted to share some fun with them. So I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed getting to go out. I have two sisters, a sister-in-law, and it was a nice little 5-person celebration of my birthday month. What else have I been doing? Trying to stay cool here and there, sitting in my exercise room on the couch, just kind of trying to stay afloat some of the days and push a little harder on other days, and it's been pretty good. I did go play games one weekend, and beyond that, my weekends have been either resting or just grocery shopping or that kind of thing. So pretty normal stuff here and there, but this weekend will be a little more exciting. My actual birthday is on Monday, and so I like to do a annual birthday shopping spree, which doesn't always end up in buying a lot of things, but going and looking at things is fun. We go down to a outdoor mall nearby and do some traditional fun things, me and my husband. So he's taking the day off work, and we are going to go on my birthday extravaganza. So I will tell you more about that in next week's episode. And I think that's all the life stories, so let's move into yarnings and adventures in knitting. I have a lot of yarnings for you guys today. My list is kind of long, so we'll see. I might not talk about all the needle adjacent projects that I would like to be doing. There's a long list here. So, finished object, and the title of the episode is BGG Therapy. This is the Therapy Shawl by Laura Ayler. I finished it last Friday, I think. It hasn't been blocked yet, but most of it's garter stitch, so it doesn't really absolutely need it. This way. So, go from a little bit of purple to the pink to the stripes. The mesh is probably what needs blocking because this is curling over just a little bit. And then more stripes, this time with the purple, more mesh, and then the purple, and I put a little extra stripe of each color at the very end, just for fun. I had about that much of the Galactic. So the yarns are, we started out with 45 Degrees North, which was a twisted brand dyed by Black Trillium that has been in my stash for a while, and I've used it for a variety of things as accent. It was just a 50-gram skein, but I've gotten a lot of use. It is the trim on my beekeeper's tank around the neck, an I-cord trim, and I love that. And then it's had a couple other small uses. And then the beautiful multicolor in here is another Crafty Girl, her twinkle sock. So it sparkles. You can see the twinkle here and there. And it is the colorway Galactic, named for Race for the Galaxy. And then the purple is Sun Valley Fibers, her 80/20 merino nylon sock weight yarn. It's so soft. It feels almost like there should be cashmere in there because it's so soft. The colorway is Iris. And I used, when I weighed, I had like 6 grams of each of the Galactic and the Iris left. That was as comfortable as I wanted to be with having a picot bind off. I wanted to make sure that I had enough yarn to bind that off. And the Galactic, I got that last stripe in there, and I didn't know quite how much that was going to take, but I am very happy that I made this shawl bigger to use the yarn that I had. I did more sections of stripes. I did more sections each time there were stripes. I did more of them, and then I did enough stripes here until I almost had used the yarn, and then I just did the purple at the end until I got close to it. So it's a much bigger shawl, but I love the size. It can go around like a cowl. It can go this way pretty nicely, and just like a traditional shawl like that. And you can see some of the different color treatments, the pink being all cool down there when it's just around like this. This will be an entry for the ZK Knit Along for the Zombie Knit Apocalypse this year because there's vendor yarns in here. I will do a second entry for the pattern was not a designer showcase person, but the yarn is. So this will be one of my entries, and then one of my other projects will be another entry. So yes, I really like this. I named it BGG Therapy because it is Board Game Geek inspired, the shawl being for Race for the Galaxy. And I did it during Game Storm. So it was literal Board Game Geek therapy that I was getting to spend time with my geeky friends. Just such a lovely experience knitting this and knitting those memories into it and then finishing it up when I was done. And yeah, every once in a while you need some board game therapy in your life, right? If you're me and a few other people that watch this show. So, yes, very happy with this, and I'm excited to bring it with me and show it to the vendors whose yarn is in it at ZK this year. My second work in progress is what I was working on at the beginning. These are my castle socks. I am that far from the heel, so it's a nice mid-calf height. So I am starting on my 1x1 twisted ribbing, which is my preferred ribbing. My last hexagon, I finished off a little motif around that. It's not very easy to see in these socks, but it made it really interesting to knit. So I am glad that I did it, even though it isn't so obvious to anybody else that it's hexagons. I chose hexagons because it's based on the game Castles of Burgundy, and all of the tiles in the board are hexagons. So, twisted ribbing is a little hard to do on air. I have to pay a little more attention to that than I do regular ribbing, but I do really like the look that it gives to the top of my socks, and so that was what I had to knit on today. The thing that has actually gotten the most love since I talked to you last is my Lady Maris. This is the Maris pattern by Elizabeth Doherty in Marigold Jen's merino nylon sock yarn. You can see the big lace panel up the back there. I have completed the sleeves. I did them one sleeve cap at a time and then 2 at a time magic loop once I got past the sleeve cap so that I could get them the same length. This is my first time doing this kind of set-in sleeve. Did something similar for that green sweater I knit. What was that one? I can't even think. I don't wear it anymore. So I am excited with how those look. I think that I'm going to have to be somewhat careful blocking it to only block the lace because it is on the slightly larger size. And so I don't want to expand the width too much, so I will be careful blocking it. I did a bunch of extra increases on the sides, on the edges there. Let's see, they come down from that point. And I am on to my last ball of yarn in alternating terms, so I have this much of the ball that I was alternating with before, and then I've started the new one, and I will not use all of that, but I am thinking another 4 or 5 inches will be a nice length on this to make it a little more tunic length of a cardigan. I don't have buttons. I didn't even think when I went to Joann's this weekend I should get buttons because I'm not going to be able to finish this without buttons. So if I can manage it, I will try and go to the Button Emporium this weekend as part of my birthday adventures. It's going to be a very nice, there's where the front is. It's going to be a very nice neckline and the front lace coming down. I'm really, really excited about this, and I love the yarn, and it has really been fun to knit on. I've been carrying it around with me in the style of Java Jenny's bags. This was a pre-order last year for ZK, and it's really nice because you go like this and then have it on your wrist while you're walking around town. I can't pull this out and knit on it while I am walking, but it means I don't have to put it in my backpack and be big and bulky. Usually I carry things in this that I can walk around and knit with. But it has a little pocket on the inside, and so my lace pattern chart has perfectly fit in that pocket when I fold it up. So that has been particularly helpful. So I did carry it along with me to the library this week, even though it's getting so large, because I would like to have it. I'd like to have it done. This is my April sweater, so there's that. So, Lady Maris, Marigold Jen, Maris pattern. Oh, no, that was just my labels for bggtherapy. The other work in progress is something that I've cast on, and I'm not sure if it's going to be exactly what I want it to be. Let's stick the labels in there. I am doing something with these two colors, Happy Go Lucky and Marigold Jen. So that's about all you'll see of that for right now, but it is the second version of a design that I'm making that I'm trying to write up for test knitters. And I think that is all the actual knitting. Needle adjacent, I'm thinking about which hand spun I want to knit next. Oops, there is a thread back there, and that was probably loud. I'm going to do something with this. Oh, I didn't bring my other hand spun in here. I'm going to pause and go get that. So this I'm going to talk about in my spinning, but this is going to be something that I'm knitting with my hand spun. So those are the hand spun related things that I want to knit with, because I want to knit with my hand spun. I'm so excited about it. I also have the pattern for Summer Vines, which is a tank top, and I won a pattern from Fiber and Dice, so that was the one I chose. I would like to do it with a contrasting band. It's got an underbust empire waistband, and so I'd like to pick what is going to go with my main color, which is a beautiful green. The next socks I want to work on, somewhere right here. I guess not. I have a sock blank from Alexandra's Crafts, and that is going to be the socks I'm going to bring with me on my birthday extravaganza, I think. And then I'm looking at shawls, things that I want to do next. But I've really been garment knitting, and that makes me happy. So I'll be talking more about those as I get closer to casting on. For spinning a tail, my finished object of spinning, I was plying this last time I recorded. This amazingness is my 3 Fates that spun up so fine. It is merino nylon superwash, I think. Yes. And hand spun. I was going to tell you how many yards. I guess I could tell you each skein. This is 270, and this is 418. So it is a lace weight, probably a heavy lace weight, because it did spin so fine. It is a 2-ply. Wraps per inch were 18. So this is going to become, I think, a top with some other yarn to go with it. But it's got lovely blues and purples and tans, a little bit of white that was in the middle as it went along, and I am excited to knit with it. It really, when I washed and thwacked it, it came with very little extra twist in the bottom, so I guess I did good on that. Yeah, I am really proud of myself that I made it through this. This took me a really long time. I started it after Christmas, so it was a slow one because it spun up so fine. It really wanted to be that fine, though. It's not all completely even. I mean, there's a little thick and thin there, but for the most part, that's pretty good for drop spindle. Not a very long-term spinner, so I am excited about that. The next spinning work in progress. Can I call it work in progress? I guess so. This is Keely's Parasol from Hobbledehoy that was a batling. It's got a little sparkle in there. You can see the sparkle. The little curlies on the top are just the pieces of the yarn on the last little section of it that when I took the spindle out, they curled themselves up. They'll be fine. It's not bad. And I tried to transition in the middle of this ball between the blue and the parasol colors, and that's the end of the parasol. And then that is half of it, and then I have started the second half. This is one of the 8 small balls, so this is what a little batling looks like from Hobbledehoy. They're so cute, and when you unwind them, they look like that. Got lots of different textures and colors in there. So I am enjoying this being a new format of something I'm spinning. This is on my Turkish Delight, my Turkish drop spindle, and I enjoy that. So there's that, and then it's hard for you to imagine that I could have more spinning, huh? I started spinning. Where's the label? This is Rock and String Creations from Kentucky. This is Polworth, and the color is Aura. And this was a gift from my friend Anetta. So in the braid, looks like this. Isn't that cool? And I am using a new spindle. I got a little Acreworks. So this is an itty bitty spindle. It is the geranium 5-petal style. The shaft, this part of it can move to the bottom if you wanted a bottom whirl. The whirl can move to the bottom. There we go. I am doing ply on the fly, so you can see my little loop rests there. And you can see that pretty 3-ply, Navajo ply that is coming out of it. It is very well weighted. It's got this cute little cap to protect the hook, which is really nice. It feels so sturdy. And I think this will be my travel spindle. It is very small. I won't be able to get a lot on here, but I will just wind it off into small balls and put them together as I go or something. I'm not quite sure how people do that when they're spinning small quantities of things. How they do a transition from one ball to the next, just, I guess when, well, I already will have plied it, so it'll be a bunch of small pieces. So then I guess joining by knitting a few stitches together will probably be the right way to do it, but that does seem a little strange if I'm going to do a whole 4 ounces this way. But I think that's okay. And these colors, I picked this because the pink was going to match the pink, and I knew it would look really pretty on my spindle, and it was a nice 4-ounce braid that I figured I could try this out with. So there's my other spinning and my other spindle. Alright, so then we have Stitch Through Time. I started piecing my quilt. So behind me is my cutting board, my little cutting table where I have a cutting wheel. I am doing a log cabin quilt. Quilt in a Day, Eleanor Burns. This is a book that I had checked out of the library when I made my sister's quilts, and I found it at Powell's in the last year or so, and bought it because it was the exact same book that I had used. So I have pieced the center to the first light color, and then that unit gets pieced onto these. So every time you piece, you do it in a continuous thing and then cut it. So I go with my cutting wheel and cut them all apart. So the next one, I will take this unit, place it on the first dark color, I think this way, on top of that, and then you'll do all of them. It'll take multiple strips, and then cut it apart. And you go around and around and around. And in theory, you can do a quilt in a day. I am not trying to do it in super speedy fashion. I am just doing a little bit as I can. So I am excited to have that much done. And I have it all lined up here so I can work on the next set of strips when I have a chance. I also bought jersey fabric. I'm going to make New Look SO266. I am going to do the tank top style, so this one, but with two bottoms. So like the bottom style of this, but without the sleeves. And I picked up this jersey fabric. It is, I don't remember what the fiber content is. I have it up in another screen, but I really like the colors. I think it's going to make a nice summer top. It is a little heavy, but I think that that's okay. The sleevelessness will help on that. I think that it will look very nice with my Maris. So that's cool, you know, you want hand knits that are going to go with your hand sews. And I got a little bit extra because I wasn't sure how much it would shrink, and I wasn't sure how much to account for with doing the two front sections, because that's not in here. So I did kind of a cross between the biggest option with the sleeves and the tank top option. So this will be my first time since I was a teenager cutting out a pattern. So I'm a little anxious about that. And so I've been doing a little reading about best practices, how people manage all that. Some people use fabric weights. Some people, I don't know, lay it all out with pins, but then pins might not be recommended for jersey. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. I wish that Simplicity, who made the pattern, Simplicity, it's a New Look, but I think that's Simplicity. I wish that they had a little more help on their site, so I've been digging through the internet, which sometimes is helpful and sometimes it isn't. So those are the two sewing projects, my quilt and my top, and we'll see. I'd love to have the top done before my trip. That's the plan, but I need to get over my fear of cutting the fabric. I did get it on sale. It's not super expensive fabric, but I'd like it to turn out good, so hence the research. So if you do have tips, I would love to hear them. If I get to it before you have your tips, I'm sure it will still help me for things in the future, because this is not going to be my last thing I want to sew. Okay, knitting community, we need a new knit along. I need to think of a theme. I have some perfectly posh things. When I was sorting through my last order, I ordered a few extra things that I'd like to give out, and someone has generously donated a pattern prize, so we will do that, but I need to come up with a theme. If you have an idea, I'd love to hear it. So let's move into some non-knitting segments and sagas of geekery. Now playing. We played viticulture, and then we went to the game day at Guardian 2 Sundays ago, Sunday before last, and we played the Grand Austrian Hotel, which was a really interesting worker placement-y kind of game. It was a really cool one. and then Trombone, which was a 2-player, and they were both Mayfair games, and they were new to the game shelves of things you could try out. And so I was really glad that they had some new stuff. Trombone is a train kind of game, but it is a card game more similar to Lost Cities than it is Ticket to Ride or something that is a route-based train game. And then we got Imperial Settlers, and Imperial Settlers is a worker placement kind of game with a lot of cards and a lot of interesting different elements you get as your civilizations get different cards and different abilities. So we got this because I won the Fiber and Dice giant prize last year for posting my games on Instagram. And if you're not watching the Fiber and Dice podcast and you enjoy this section of my podcast, you absolutely will enjoy Rebecca, and sometimes her husband Charles is on the episodes. He has been more of them lately than not. So I won a Amazon gift card that went towards gaming. So we got Imperial Settlers and the two expansions for that, and they came last week and we got to play, and I'm really excited about getting card sleeves and possibly the broken token organizer. It's a little wooden organizer that helps sort all of your things in the boxes. So, very cool game. I'm excited to play it some more and get to use more of the different features of the expansions. Now been watching Person of Interest with Eric still. We are on season 3, the middle of season 3. We are to the episodes where Amy Acker is a full-time star, and I love her. I declared 2 years ago, I think my Instagram said that when she was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was a special gift from Joss Whedon to me on my birthday week. So that popped up in my time hop this week, or Memento, there we go, there's the other app, as something that I had said 2 years ago, and it made me giggle because I do love Amy Acker. And then I'm watching Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice intermixed, and we are watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We have not been watching Castle. And then we watched The Saint. We were looking for a movie to watch, and we started to watch a really goofy disaster movie, and it looked so totally crazy, but they said something about cold fusion, and cold fusion always reminds me of The Saint. So we turned that on instead, and that was a good choice. That one's got one of my favorite songs, Six Underground by Sneaker Pimps, I want to say. But it's a good movie. For now reading, I am listening to Rising Strong by Brené Brown. I have listened to several or read several of her books and really appreciate what she has to say, and this one is very good. I got it through Overdrive at my library, so I can hold on to it for a certain amount of time, and I'm not sure I will finish it in that amount of time, but I am glad to be listening to it, and I may have to order the physical book from the library so I can finish it up. For Fanciful Chatter, I am wearing some of my new makeup. I found a brand called ColourPop, and I have quite fancy eyes, but the lips are the real piece de resistance. This is this one. ColourPop. I guess that's upside down. ColourPop Lippy Stick. This is I Heart This is the color on it. and it is a very nice pink on me. It is a matte, and I have never experimented much with matte lipsticks because the ones I have tried have been really drying. This one is really good, and it stays on really well. I walked, so sweaty. I did yoga. I ate snacks. I talked a whole bunch. And then I ate a light lunch, and I still had most of my lipstick on. I mean, I needed to touch up on the inside of my mouth, but it was mostly there. So, that is results that I cannot argue with, and I have placed another order. The eye color, the purple, and the pink on top is actually a blush, and there's a purple eyeliner in there. So I have 2 lipsticks, a lip liner, an eyeliner, a blush, and an eyeshadow right now. I'm really enjoying it. I wrote up the whole list of what I was wearing on my Instagram post this week, so you're welcome to go look at that. I also put in a Perfectly Posh order because on your birthday month they give you 500 point perks so that you can order something just for your birthday month. So I put in an order of some things I needed and some things I wanted, and I always have so much fun looking through their site. And so before I did that, I went and looked through my stash to see what I had and what I didn't, and it's always fun to feel like it is organized and happy again. I have a nice little cube in the calyx behind our bed that stores all of the ones that are not in use yet. And then I got a haircut. It's the same haircut, but shorter on the sides. So this is my version of a Christine-inspired mohawk, but Christine style because there are little sparkly clips in it as well. So, faux hawk for today. For Book of Cooking, I made ravioli extravaganza, which is one of my favorites, and so I looked through my list of recipes on the Red Kitchen, which is my recipe site, and realized, oh yeah, I need ravioli extravaganza. That would be a good birthday month thing. On Grilled Cheese Day, thanks to Java Jenny for pointing that out, I made the following day, because I was out and about on that day. Following day, I made grilled cheese on cinnamon bread. That was really nice. And then we tried a pancake mix. We tried the Snoqualmie Falls pancake mix, which I'm not sure if that is just local, because Snoqualmie Falls is local, or if that's something that everybody can get at Safeways. But it was a very nice pancake mix, really easy to use, and it was good for a rest day that I didn't need to be any more complicated with the ingredients I was pulling together to make pancakes, so I'm excited about that. For the Happiness Continues, I wrote, yoga is helping me find my zen. My yoga class is more physical therapy based than it is spiritual visualization, and so we often will work through a specific set of poses to get to one awesome pose at the end. So this month we've been doing back bends, but easy, manageable. We are not a high level, high energy class. So easy, doable back bends. And so we went through a whole set of poses to help us open up the parts of our body we were going to need for the bow pose. And I did it. I mean, it just feels so good to get to the end of the session and have that success. Like, it's not that I would feel bad if I couldn't do it, but I sure feel good when I can do it, if that makes sense. So, very happy with that. But it just reminds me of the greater thing that doing small steps towards something, doing the preparatory work with a focus of, here's where I'm going, makes so much more sense than doing it all willy-nilly, doing a project and not having a target in mind, not having a set of steps that will help me get there in mind. And that suits well to my personality. It may not be the case for everybody, but if I have a focus, I'm going to be more successful in each small step. So wick, what I can, when I can. Each small step towards the greater goal that I'm going for. And then my planner is also bringing me a lot of joy recently. I got these new planner pages. This is an ARC planner from Staples, and it's got action notes, it's got project notes, and it's got comments, and I've been using that to streamline my journaling. I don't really use it exactly like a bullet journal, but I started out with it that way, and so I still follow a few of the things that appealed to me as bullet journaling when I started, and using that as a tool for writing down what's going on for me, the things that I can do to come out of the issues that I'm solving, and just, those new pages have been helping me. Okay. That was a lot of talking. I hope that you enjoyed it. I am really glad you joined me today, because this is a blessing to my life. You are a blessing to my life for joining me while I chitter-chatter about all of the great things going on for me. So, you can connect with me on the internet. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. I am KDLB, just the letters, on Instagram. You can find the group with info and conversations and knit-alongs on Ravelry as Yarnings Podcast, and the show notes with links to everything that I talk about is yarningspodcast.com, all squished together. So, until next time, that's the story. Bye.